Okay, so in July, the Standpoint will be 10 years. We have over 600 episodes of the Standpoint. Every week we have a new program. But I don't think you've ever seen me in black on the Standpoint before. This is the very first time. And this is the very first time we're starting a program without an applause. That should tell you that, well, it is well. Because as Christians, the Bible tells us that in all things we should give thanks. I'm sure for the past few weeks, you've seen the messages I've sent on my WhatsApp groups, the Facebook and various social media platforms about a tribute to a beautiful young daughter, 14 years, who appeared on the Standpoint 2 years ago, shared her story with us, her journey and her battle with cancer, and how we all celebrated because we believe that she had conquered cancer. Well, today, we laid her to rest. And those of you who were not able to join us, well, Sunday will be another opportunity. But enough of that. Last week, I told you that today we are going to do a special program in memory of Nicole Pwamang. Sad, isn't it? But we'll get to hear the story today. My name is Gifty Auntie. My name is Ohineyere Gifty Auntie. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. This dress was made for me by Chic Collection. My slit and cover was made for me by Chic Collection. I say thank you to Paba Cosmetics for the makeup product and makeup and more for the makeup. Can you believe it? Despite it all, in spite of it all, she still loves me and comes to do my makeup for me. Such a moment. Indeed, love is in spite of. We take a break. When we come back, we get to meet the parents of our beautiful young daughter who's going to join her maker. And then we'll also learn about what really happened. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. If you just joined us today, we pay a tribute to a young, beautiful soul who has gone to join her maker, Nicole Pwamang. And before we get to talk to her parents, we'll watch a recap of what she said when she was on the Standpoint 2 years ago. But before then, let me say thank you to our sponsors, Ghana Oil Company Limited, Goil Ghana, Goil, Ahwinipa Enkasa. Yeah, they are homegrown. So you make sure you patronize Goil products all the time. The president says, Ghana beyond aid. I believe that. Maybe it may not happen in my lifetime, but one day we'll get there, and the journey starts from now by investing in our own, believing in ourselves that we can do it. And we also say thank you to Walmart Africa. They produce Frytol cooking oil. Frytol is made from the palm fruit, so it is cholesterol free. It is fortified with vitamin A and endorsed by the Ghana Medical Association. They import Fortune rice into this country, and Fortune rice comes in 3 variants. The green package one, good for soft dishes. The orange package one, that's a medium green, so excellent for wachi and stuff like that. And then of course the ultimate one, the one that I love, the Thai wine package island rice with the best aroma. So for your jollof and all that, you get to use that. So don't miss out on that at all. We also say thank you to the African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. They sponsor African women's rights organizations across Africa. We are so grateful to them. But today we are here to pay tribute to Nicole. And here's a recap of what she said when she came on the Standpoint 2 years ago. Well, if you're just joining us, today we have an encounter with a beautiful young lady. Not only is she beautiful and intelligent, she's very polite. She had a date with cancer, and she's here to tell us about it. She is Nicole Wesoamo Pwamang. She's laughing at me. I didn't pronounce the middle name well, right?
No, it's normal.
Oh, it's normal. What's it? Okay, how do you pronounce the middle name?
Wesoamo.
Wesoamo. What does it mean?
God's love.
God's love. Wow. Wesoamo. Nicole Wesoamo Pwamang. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
How old are you?
12.
12 years.
Yes.
12 when is your birthday?
24th November.
24th November. So this year you'll be 13.
Yes.
You get into the teens.
Yes.
Are you excited about getting into the teens?
Yes.
So you have gone through cancer.
Yes.
What kind of cancer did you have?
It was, the name is osteosarcoma, and it was cancer of the thigh.
How did you know, or how was it diagnosed?
Well, I had a thigh ache for some time, and my mom decided to massage it, but after a while, it was still there. So we decided to see a general practitioner. And after we took some x-rays and blood tests, then she said it was an infection. So we were treated for an infection. But
For how long?
For about a month.
Okay.
But after a month, they said we need to see a specialist. So then we were referred to a specialist, and when we went there, the specialist still treated an infection. And when we read about it, it was that within a few weeks, if it keeps on crying, it's like 8 weeks, which is 2 months. But after 3 months, it was still there. So my mom said we should seek a second opinion. So we went to see one doctor at La, who said that if they might do a surgery on to check, like it's more like a biopsy. But what the other doctor had told us that he was going to scrape off a mass. So after that we went. So that was it, and still, so we decided.
So they did a surgery.
We decided to go to Kolibo.
All right. Okay.
And we didn't have a referral. We needed referral and a lot of things, but we didn't have any. So we met a nurse, and he helped us with some orthopedic surgeons. We were fortunate enough to be able to see them on the day they were having surgery, so all the doctors were around.
Okay.
And when Dr. Baidu and Dr. Badu saw it, they realized that it was no good. So they excused
Dr.
me.
Badu of Kolibo?
Yes.
Okay, and Dr. Baidu is also of
yes.
yeah.
And they excused me out. And they told my mother everything, and later on I was called back in.
What did they tell your mother?
They said it's serious and I would have to do a biopsy to check what exactly it is.
Okay.
So
I know now you know all the medical terms, but what's a biopsy?
A biopsy is just a minor surgery to take part of the skin to check for an infection.
Okay.
So the biopsy was done and the lab results came out, and it said it was a tumor. It was a tumor, so we had to we immediately had to rush with everything. And because since it has been touched, it erupts quickly.
Because it's a tumor?
Yes, because it's a tumor. So we started making arrangements to travel. Most of the work was by my parents. I was not even awake.
They were doing things behind you?
Yes. So first...
But how was the pain? Before we get it, how was the pain?
Well, after the surgery, it was quite painful, but after a day, everything was okay. We got to India, and immediately they started a treatment. We did a PET scan, and we did some blood,
What's a PET scan?
A PET scan is it's a thorough body check. It's like an X-ray, but it's for the whole body, to check where exactly the tumor is, whether it's local, which is at the same place.
And this was not done to you in Ghana? You didn't do that one in Ghana?
No.
Okay.
So we did that, and we did some blood tests and a few other scans. So when all that was done, by the following day we received the results. And we were told that it's big, so they will have to shrink it. And
the tumor?
Yes, the tumor. They have to shrink it before they will do the surgery.
And the tumor was in your thigh?
Yes, in my thigh. Meaning the time was going to be extended. So we thought if it's going to keep long, that would be like 2 months. But unfortunately for us, they said it was going to be 6 months. And that was very difficult because I was going to miss my siblings and my dad.
Chemo, yeah.
So we started the chemo, and the first chemo was really difficult. And there were a lot of effects to it, such as anemia and hair loss and the darkening of my nails and many others.
Like?
I don't remember the rest.
So you lost all your hair?
Yes.
I hear chemo is very painful.
Yes. Very painful.
First chemo, how long did it take?
It took about almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Because there were a lot of side effects, so they had to break it. And
Okay.
start.
So take me through the chemo. What exactly was done to you in terms of chemo?
Well, it was in the form of an IV.
Okay.
So I received about...
IV is injection through the vein?
Yes.
Okay, like a drip?
Yes, like a drip.
Okay.
So it was about 30 per cycle.
30?
30 IVs per
30
cycle.
IVs per cycle?
Yes. And it's for 24 hours. Every drip is for 24 hours. And it's 3 different drips. And it's in an orange-like color. So they'll give it to you and you become very weak. You can't really do much. So that's basically what chemo is. So when the cycle was done, we went home and I had an infection. So we had
After the 2-week cycle?
Yes.
You had an infection?
Yes. So we had to come back. And when we came back, they said, well, I have to stay in the hospital and take some blood because it seemed to have, my HB was low. So I had to,
Okay. So where was the infection? But it was in your body somewhere, they said it was in your system. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we were in the hospital for another 3 days on the blood. After we went home and stayed for the remaining week, and we came for the remaining 2 cycles. After which we had some tests before the surgery. So we started.
So the surgery, what? They had to cut open your thigh?
Yes.
And go into the bone?
Yes. So we started physio, and I was having some really bad pains anytime I do physio. So the doctor came and realized that there was a shift in the prosthesis, which is the plastic they used to replace the bone, like the chunk that they've taken. And they realized
okay, so they took a chunk of your bone away?
Yes, the parts
that the tumor was in,
Yes.
and then they put a post what?
Prosthesis
Yes. In there. It's like plastic.
Yes.
And they put it there,
Yes.
to replace the bone that was taken away.
And they realized it had shifted, so they had to redo it. But they
second surgery?
Yes, a second
Cut open your thigh again?
Yes. They called my mom out and they told her everything. But the way she said it, I didn't really take it seriously. Yes. I thought it was something small. So we went again and we did it. We went for the second surgery and I came back that day because it was not so serious. I came back that day and they said no movement again. I should lie in bed. Because of the stiffness, I had bed sores. After some time, I was able to move around. So we went back to the hospital for a checkup, and they said everything was okay. And we would have to do radiation. So we did the radiation, and my skin darkened, and it started peeling off. And we thought that the radiation was like the ending. So we started packing, actually.
Radiation, you did how many? How long?
It was for 30 days. That
for 30 days,
like
1
about
month.
A month, yeah.
A month for radiation. You're going every day?
Yes, every day.
Every day?
Except weekends.
Except weekends. Okay.
So we thought that the radiation was the end. And after the radiation, we went to see the doctor, only for him to tell us that we are left with 3 cycles of chemo.
After the first 3 that you did?
Yes.
Before the surgery?
Yes.
After surgery, the 2 surgeries, you had to go through what? Physio, then what?
Radiation.
And then you're going to go through chemo again. 3
Yes.
cycles of chemo
Yes.
again.
The remaining 3 cycles.
And those are 30 IVs per cycle.
Over 30.
Over 30 IVs per cycle.
Yes.
Cycle, sorry.
Yes. So it was not so bad because this time I was kind of
used to
expecting. Yes.
Okay.
So we went through the 3 cycles and everything was over.
Now tell me about your foundation.
I am working on a project called Wesoamo Cancer Foundation, and it's basically to help children with cancer. And currently I'm doing a research on why Ghana, in fact Africa, doesn't have one except in SC.
Doesn't have what?
The PET scan.
PET scan.
Yes, doesn't have a PET scan.
So you are doing what? A research?
Yes, a research.
On why Africa, apart from SC, doesn't have a PET scan. How old again did you say you are?
12.
12 years, okay. You are doing a research on it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So when I'm done, then I would see what I have to do to be able to, get one for the country.
Okay. So your major aim is to make sure that you raise some funds to get a PET scan for Ghana?
Yes.
Okay.
And also to be able to get the funds, I'll have a yearly child fashion show, and also I'm going to launch my book and
launch your
book.
Okay.
And publish my blog.
Let's go back again. You are going to what? Launch your book.
My book.
So you've written a book.
I am still writing.
What's the book about?
It's about my story.
About your story?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I am going to publish my blog.
Let me go to Dr. Nihad Salifu, Senior Resident Doctor, Pediatric Oncology Unit, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, who also saw Nicole. So at this point, would you say that Nicole has been cured?
When Nicole was leaving India, after all the tests, they ran another test called a PET scan. And at that point, it was conclusive that she had been cured.
She had been cured?
Yes.
So you defeated cancer?
Yes.
You went on a date with cancer and you defeated him?
Yes.
This one, they normally say that disease has the face of a woman, but this one, it's a him. It's a very foolish boy. That cancer is a very, very foolish boy. But you came out victorious.
Yes.
And who do you think did it?
God.
God, of course. God did it. So who do you think did it? And she said, God. So you went on a date with cancer and you defeated him. She said yes, and she smiled. The doctor confirmed it that she did a PET scan before she left India, and she was told that she was cancer-free. So what happened? Why did cancer decide to go on another date with her? We'll find out from her parents when we come back. One point, if you just joined us, we just had a recap of Nicole's recounting her experience on the Standpoint 2 years ago. If you didn't watch it, you can go to our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, and watch that particular one, or our YouTube channel to watch A Date with Cancer, a young lady's story, and tells the story of Nicole. Nicole, when we are ending the program, said, "It is God." And there's a lady here, one of my daughters here, she wants to sing one of Nicole's favorite songs for you. Michaelina.
All things are working for my good. Yeah, it's intentional. never failing. I know that all things are working for my good, yeah. It's intentional. Never fail me, and all things are working for my good, yeah. It's intentional, yeah, yeah, yeah. Never failing, I know that all things are working for my good, yeah. It's intentional, never failing. Oh, 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 oh.
Thank you very much, Michaelina. Yes, the Bible says all things work for our good. It's working for it. But in terms like this, you ask yourself, what good? What is the purpose? What is God trying to teach us? What is God trying to tell us? But it's happened. And we are here. Our elders say that no mother, no parent has to bury their child, but it happens. I have with me the parents of Nicole, Mr. Camilo Pwamang, father of Nicole. Welcome to the Standpoint. And of course, Gloria here. I've told you about Gloria several times. My faithful makeup artist, 6 years, been with me. Not even when she was in India taking care of Nicole, she would check to see if her girls are taking good care of me. Let me start with you, Mr. Pwamang. So why did Cancer decide to go on a date with my daughter again? After all that she went through and came out cancer-free.
Thank you, Gifty. I think it's a question that we are also trying to understand why it had to come back again. As Nicole recounted her story, we all thought that she had defeated cancer.
Yeah.
We were advised when she left India to be doing periodic tests every 6 months. And we're doing that religiously. Prior to her final call, our last test was in November. And all the tests proved negative.
That's last year, November
Last year,
2017.
November 2017. So when somewhere in February, she started complaining of cough and chest pain, we were advised to do another test, even though it was too close because it was just 3 months. And because of the CT scan, they always advise us it's not too good to be doing it
Regularly,
in close intervals.
Yeah.
So under the circumstances, we were advised to do it again. Unfortunately, when we did the second time in February, the results were so bad. As at now, we're still trying to understand what really happened.
What did the doctor say? Yeah.
Between November and February, it's still the puzzle that we are all trying to solve. We really don't know what happened.
I think after this interview,
Yeah.
she had a relapse. I think when we did the second scan, there was a dot in the lungs. They said it's a dot, like full stop. So when we sent the reports to India, they said would have to come. They called it a lung noodle because they wanted to know what exactly it was. So we had to go back after we did this, and then we started what she wanted to do with her foundation.
Yeah.
She had to go back. So we went back and there was a surgery done to remove the lung noodle, which was growing. I think within a month it had grown a bit. So when they took that out and did a test, it was cancerous as well. So Nicole had to do another round of chemos, which was, they called it a second round, which was tougher compared to what
The
she
previous
did
one.
previously. We did all that. She got better. She got better. And even the second time we went back, I realized that it's like she was more prepared. She was sort of rather inspiring me to do things that she thought I'd left behind because of her. She, even though she was sick, she was always on the internet. There were classes that she took, even in the sick bed. She took computer classes, she did baking and all that, because when she tells her story, schools that were there were willing to help. So there were some that we didn't even have to pay for tuition. So she always said that she's getting lemonade from
the lemons that she has, right?
Exactly. So all the time she kept saying, so which lemonade are we getting from this one? Then she'll come up with ideas. And that was how it was. We went to Kolebu. The time they saw it, the doctors themselves could not tell us. They kept meeting and going up and down. So Nihat, our consultant, who came with us during the interview, she broke the news to me that this is it. It had taken the right lung? It had taken over.
But it was, I mean,
the right lung.
Initially it was a thigh.
It was the thigh. Osteosarcoma, if you read about it, they said there's a way that it moves to the lungs. And the way they told us at Kolebu, to the extent that we had to see a psychologist.
For her?
No, for ourselves.
For yourself.
Because it's like they're telling you it's the end for your child.
Was that it? They told you when you went to Kolebu, they told you that this is it, that there's no way she was going to well. So you knew she was going to die?
Yeah, we knew. The doctors first told me. Actually, I even had the opportunity of seeing some of the scans. I try not to let my wife see some of them, even though she always try hard to see them. But
I know her, right? She wants to know everything. Don't mind her.
You could actually even tell from the body language of the doctors at the early stages until they finally told me. And the advisor, looking at the circumstances, we should see a psychologist to counsel us.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a tough
For a father to be told that your daughter is going to die, so see a psychologist to prepare you for that.
Yeah.
Hey, who does that?
Who does that?
Yeah.
Exactly what I said.
But I think I understood where the doctors were coming from. And I think when we met the psychologist, it was also good. I mean, it helps you to prepare for the worst, even though it wasn't the good news. But somebody has to break the news to you.
So did she know?
No, we didn't tell her.
You didn't tell Nicole?
We didn't tell her.
But you were with her. Did you think she knew?
She didn't know. Initially,
I thought that she suspected something because she kept. The thing about Nicole is she reads a lot.
Yeah.
Anytime she has a phone, she goes onto the internet reading about the disease and all that. And there were times she kept asking us that, because at Kolebu they advise us of two things, that we either go back for chemo. And there's somebody who had done 12 cycles of chemo already, and we should do another chemo. We even checked at the Ghana-Sweden Center. I think it's Sweden-Ghana Center, which is a cancer center in Accra here.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they also said that looking at the circumstance,
there's nothing they can do.
Because the doctors were actually of the view that you'd rather be adding to the pain, because the chemo will not be able to extend her life to any significant level.
Gloria, did he prepare you?
Well, I'm a Christian, so I didn't just give up. I didn't know what God had planned, but I was hoping that my daughter would get well. So I didn't give up at that point. I encouraged her to be strong, that we'll pull through this.
You still don't believe she's gone, do you? You still sleep
I'm
and
trying.
you wish that one day you just wake up and she's there.
Exactly. I'm trying hard to come to terms with it. Because even at the last time with her, and I think it was a Friday, we couldn't sleep because she was also not able to sleep. It happens like that every day. It was difficult for her to sleep, but that day was bad. So we had to take her to the hospital nearby. And even during the last minutes, Nicole was still speaking to us. She was giving us instructions. She said, the uncle was there, sit here, I want to put my head on you. Come back here, I want to do this. And so nobody really thought that was the end. And she just said, she yawned and said, Mommy, I can't hear. So we all thought that, I said, oh, sleep, when you wake up, you'll be okay. Because the whole night you didn't sleep. And well, I was hoping she was sleeping. So she slept and she never woke up.
So her last words to you was, Mommy, I can't hear.
Can't hear. So she slept, and when they told me that was it, I still sat there. I sat there till, like...
you don't know how long you sat there?
Yeah, I sat there. It was around 10, but I sat there till the next day. They said within 6 hours they had to send her. So I was hoping that she would wake up before they send her. Like before the time they'll send her back. She didn't.
Mr. Pwamang, were you there? When you were told that she had breathed her last, you were taking her last breath?
Unfortunately, I wasn't in town when it happened. So I was called, I was out of the country, and I was around 1 a.m. there. It was a difficult moment for me. I was alone, and I was already preparing to come back home. I couldn't sleep the whole night.
We'll be back. Welcome back. Let me say thank you to our supporters, You Got, Casa Preco Company Limited. They give us the royal drinks, that's royal apple and royal orange. And then, of course, Awake Purified Mineral Water. And we are grateful to them. House of Food, Cake Technique, Yep Cleaning Services, and Matamis, they gave us the port. We are grateful to all of them. But Nicole had dreams. She wanted to write a book. In fact, she wanted to write books. She had her foundation. She wanted to motivate young people. She wanted to let parents of children who have gone through cancer, so many things. What happens to that, Mr. Pwamang? Is it ending?
No, certainly not. We've made that commitment to Nicole that her dreams will not die. Amen. And therefore, with the book, she had almost completed it. It's about my life. We trying to add a bit to it, especially these last moments, to make it complete. I hope before we celebrate her first anniversary, we would have launched it.
Okay.
So, but with the foundation too, we are pushing ahead. We are still raising funds to support, particularly the people with cancer, children with cancer, especially those who have very good prognosis. Those that the prognosis are not very good, we'll try to see how best we can help them with some palliative care. Cancer treatment
is there anything you wish you had done with Nicole that you didn't do?
It's a question that I kept asking myself. We tried everything, I must admit, within which is human.
No, not the medical. I mean, like, as your daughter.
As my
is
daughter,
this the moments you wish you had with her that you didn't?
Particularly the last moment, that particular week that she finally passed. I wish I were there. Unfortunately, official assignment had to take me out. Yeah, but I really wish I were there.
Yeah.
I was coming the morning of Sunday only to be told
So on
it's a Saturday
Friday.
night.
Saturday, okay. I sure was good.
And when I look back, before I went on that trip, she told me that, Daddy, you came not long ago and you are traveling again. I walked out of the room. I just didn't know what to say. I only just told her that, Nicole, I'll be back to see you again.
Yeah.
And that will be the last one. Unfortunately, I didn't come to meet
Didn't
her.
come back.
That is one of the most difficult moments I still think about.
Yeah. But I hope you're not blaming yourself for that. Because even if you were
tried.
there,
Yeah.
as we know now, there was nothing you could have
Yeah,
done.
there was nothing I could do.
But then,
At least I would have wished to be there, to be by her, taking her last
That's
breath.
right.
I think it's something that I would have wished.
I'm sure she knows.
Yeah.
I'm sure she knows.
I was close, very close with
Yeah.
Nicole.
Nicole, yeah. She told me. And her favorite auntie in London. You have to say something.
I happened to be home when she was going through the pains. And not once did I see her shed a tear. She is such a tough girl. I look at her and I wonder how she did it. Her mother sometimes break down, but she will look at her and be wondering, why is she crying? And I'm like, you should be the one crying, and
I know,
we
right?
are rather the ones crying. She will try to sit up, and we have to be standing by her, and she'll be asking you, are you okay? I'm like, God, can you not ask me whether I'm okay? You should be okay. I am fine.
Yeah.
But that is Nicole. She cares about others more than herself. She is such a tough girl, and I think this is the time for us to let her memory live on. She shouldn't be just forgotten. We'll do all we can to let her memory live on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Amen. Can you pass on the microphone to your husband?
Well, I just the opportunity to meet Nicole just for 2 days. Sorry.
Her favorite auntie's husband.
That's what she really liked. The thing I remember was I went out with her one day because Emmanuel and Isabella needed a rest, I think, at that point, and we went out shopping. And it was absolutely brilliant. The fact that she'd go out with me and she just barely knew me, you know, and we wandered around central London. She bought all her clothes, and it was very interesting to watch when she went into the shops. She'd stand and she'd scan round, and then she'd think a little bit, and then bam, 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 she'd pick
She'd
out the
choose
things
what
she
you
wanted.
want.
Yeah, exactly, straight like that. And I was going, oh wow, that's brilliant. So yeah, she was an amazing girl.
Yeah, it is well. Gloria, why do you think God gave us Nicole?
Well, I think I keep saying she really inspires me, and I don't think she will stop inspiring me. So to the world, I think God gave us Nicole for a purpose. I think she found out that purpose early enough, because some of us, we are old, but we are struggling to find
our
ourselves.
purpose, you know.
Exactly. But she found it early enough. And through her page, we've been able to reach out to people with cancer. You know, when you are going through something, you always feel that you are alone. But when she aired the program, we were able to reach out to a few people. At times, it's not about the money the person needs, but they want to know that there's somebody out there for them.
Yeah.
And they want to know that somebody has gone through it so they could go through it. It's not only kids that she has touched. There are grown-ups that had to speak to her. Even when we were in India, the doctors kept referring people to her because the chemo is like that. When you start, you want to run away.
Yeah.
So they kept referring to her that there's an 11-year-old girl around who was able to go through. So you could.
You can also.
So we had that kind of meeting, and that was what made her start the foundation in the first place. So it's been going on. People call just to hear her. So I think we'll go on with the foundation. And people who want to donate, I think the numbers will
we'll
scroll
put the
and all
numbers
that.
and
But
the
we
contacts
want
and everything.
to assure you that we have not stopped because Nicole is dead.
But I would like to say thank you to you for sharing Nicole with us, sharing Nicole with the world. I believe her story will not end here. It will inspire, others. I mean, we thank God she was great when she was alive. And even in death, she's going to be greater. Her name is going to live on. We take a break. When we come back, I give you a bet of me. One of the famous sayings of Ernest Hemingway that I love, it's not to directly quote him, but it says something like, the end of all men are the same. That is death. But what really differentiates between individuals is how they live their life and how they die. Nicole was only 14 years, but her life inspired all of us. Nicole was on the standpoint. Nicole had a Facebook page. We heard her story, even narrating the pains she went through during her cancer treatment. She had a smile on her face throughout. She made us laugh. She inspired us. She gave us hope. And even in death, she's giving her parent and she's giving the world a hope. Parents, children are a gift from God. Children are a special gift from God that we need to cherish every single moment we have with them. Let us make the extra effort to cherish every single moment with our children. In times of difficulty, let us not abandon the children. I can vouch and say that, yes, Nicole's parents did their best. And it is my prayer, and I urge you all, that anywhere you see this video, let us continue to pray for them. Let us continue to support them with our prayers, with our love, with our goodwill messages, that God will continue to keep this family together, because it is not easy. No parent will have to bury their own child, but it does happen. So Nicole, rest for now. Nicole, we miss you. Nicole, we love you. Nicole, you inspired us. Nicole, we are not forgetting about you. Rest in peace, our dear daughter. And if you can see us, may we continue to make you proud. May we continue to let your name live on, and your legacy and your dreams live on. We love and appreciate you, Nicole. Rest in peace. My name remains Ohinere Gifty Auntie. As always, I have super crazy faith in God, that all things work for our good, that His grace is sufficient for us. And this one too, His grace will see Nicole's parents through. It is well. It is well. It is well. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.